Beautiful. No impact on group size. That's nice. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Twang and Bang. I gotta admit, I got ahead of myself. Normally I print an unsuppressed group first. It helps me to double check my zero, and I didn't do it. I shot suppressed first. It's with the Wilson Combat WCR-22. It's their first rimfire can, and I was pretty excited to see what it would do on paper after hearing it, doing some sound testing with these different hosts. And so here's what I printed after taking the can off. You can see for some reason my zero wasn't right for CCI standard velocity, at least not for that day and that bipod that I borrowed. But the can itself performed great. It didn't have that much of a point of impact shift at all. It printed a nice tight group, which is what I want to see, and it sounded great. And that's what's coming up next on Twang and Bang.
The WCR-22 is Wilson Combat's first rimfire silencer. With a titanium tube and 7075 aluminum monocore, it's an amazingly light 4.2 ounces, making it one of the, if not the, lightest 6-inch rimfire can on the market. The tube is finished in Wilson Combat's Armor Tough, which is similar to popular ceramic coatings with a little more lubricity to it. Black, burnt bronze, FDE, and green are available in addition to the gray seen on this can. Each WCR-22 comes with a pouch and a takedown tool, which is hidden in a pocket on the back. Unlike for most silencers, the tool fits the front and rear caps to help both disassembly as well as removing a stuck can from a barrel. The rear cap is threaded directly to the monocore and sealed with an O-ring. Once the rear cap is removed, the monocore pushes out the front with little resistance from the front O-ring. Though the aluminum construction means the monocore should not be cleaned with the dip method, the voids between the baffles provide plenty of room for standard mechanical methods of lead removal. Since the tube is connected to the monocore and end cap only by the O-rings, you can easily orient the engraving to line up with your host weapon if you desire.
That's actually a really sharp looking can. I really like it. Yeah, there's a noticeable first round pop. It's not different than most monocore rimfire cans on a pistol. But it sounds pretty good after that, and the first round pop isn't that bad. Let's see what it sounds like on some rifles. Yeah, a meter might show a first round pop on that, but I'm definitely not hearing it. There's nothing like a suppressed 1022. I love it. And this is really light. You can barely tell it's on there when it's screwed on there. The other thing about aluminum cans that I've noticed is they tend to cool down a lot faster than steel cans. And it's the case with this. All right, so FBSR time. Nice. Beautiful. That is, I love the way this looks. That's a sharp looking can. You know, you don't buy silencers on cosmetics. I don't think you should, but That's a sharp looking can. Beautiful. We're going to take this apart. You can see the tool sits in the case like that right there. Pull it out. No problems. That came right apart. Pushed right out. That'll be pretty easy to clean up. I had no problems getting this apart. And that was about 350, 400 rounds. So as long as you don't run too many rounds through it between popping it open, you're not going to have a problem getting this apart. It goes back together super easy. No stacking baffles, no worrying about order. The can is 1, 2, 3 parts and 2 O-rings. That's as easy as it gets. Wilson Combat got this can to me really early. I have one of the first ones that's in the wild. And so what that means is I don't have independently verified decibel numbers to give you. But as soon as I do, I'll put them in the video description. But in the end, I don't think it really matters to me. To my ear, whatever the decibel readings are, it sounds great. It sounds right there with other cans that I brought with me that day to test. Other people on the range couldn't tell the difference between it and other cans. The only noticeable thing is the first round pop on my 2245, but that is really common with monocore rimfire cans on pistols. So that's something that you would already know going into the fact that it's a monocore. What I find especially interesting is the MSRP. It's only $325, which puts it a lot closer to a budget can than it does to a premium can. Yet, you get your choice of one of 5 different Armor Tough colors on the tube, which to me, I think that's a pretty cool added feature. And I can't emphasize enough how much I like the design feature that you can use the tool on either end of the can, because as a YouTuber switching hosts, you end up putting a hot can or a warm can on a cold host, and you put a few rounds through it and they could get stuck. And you can sit there and wait for it to cool down or whatever, come up, but I could just throw that tool on the end cap and pop it right off and put it on the next host. So I thought that's a pretty handy feature that I hope other silencer manufacturers start to follow. If you want to learn more about the WCR-22, be sure to click the link in the video description below. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You can see the links right here. And be sure to click right here to subscribe so you can see my next videos on bows, guns, and other cool stuff. I really appreciate you watching Twang and Bang, and I hope to see you next time.